The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the book.
You covered! You covered 12! Covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
Off and running on a Tuesday, boys and girls. How are you? Welcome into another episode of the Bostonian versus the Book. Dave Sharapan, Matt Perrault, live on YouTube and on X at Boston versus the Book. Sports Grid TV's got the replay alongside Sirius XM channel 159. We will get to a lot today, Dave, but how are you on this Tuesday? A lot of hoops to get to at the top.
Good. Patience is the word of the day today. A lot of patience, a lot of things. Had a couple meetings this morning. We're grinding with that. We're grinding with the show. I'd say the Celtics are grinding, but they're not.
Oh, more on that later. Hold on.
We'll get to that. Yeah,
Right.
I like the lead story today with the basketball because the chances.
We're numbers, people.
Great tweet yesterday. Well done, sir. Got some people riled up about it.
That's what happens. It's look, we'll start with it because it's one of those stories that people have very strong opinions about. Well, what happened last night, we'll start with the NBA draft lottery because the Dallas Mavericks won the ping pong ball lottery that was done in private. And you can tell.
Oh, man. Hold on. You froze already. First freeze under the 3-minute mark. That's almost the chances of that happening are as much as it was the Mavericks winning the damn lottery. That was rigged. Oh, my gosh.
The odds of the top 3 NBA draft going Dallas, San Antonio, Philadelphia was 0.0114%. So it wasn't just that the Dallas Mavericks were 1.8% likely to win this thing. And that's what they were. They had a 1.8% chance. They lost the play-in game. Remember, the Dallas Mavericks almost made the playoffs.
Yeah.
They were in the play-in tournament. So for them to go from where they were sitting, 10, 11, to 1, is a meteoric jump. One that was supposed to have been not outlawed, but prevented by math, by the NBA ping pong balls.
There's always a chance when you have 1.8%.
That San Antonio would get it 2, that Philadelphia would get it 2, that it goes 1, 2, 3, that it falls, because you have to be a really big conspiracy theorist. And in some ways I am when it comes to the NBA draft, because I go back to the Patrick Ewing cold envelope situation with the Knicks, that the NBA was in trouble. And
was that ever proven?
I mean, it's a pretty well-known thought that that's what happened. I'm not sure we ever ran diagnostics or David Stern said something before he died as to whether or not he did it, but that was the theory. There were 2 theories. One, that they had taken a corner of the envelope and folded it, so when David Stern reached in, he knew where to feel. And the other one was they froze the envelope and put it in there so it was cold, so he knew when he grabbed the cold one, he pulled it out, and he had New York Knicks, number 1 pick. Look, I don't know how it happened. People who are against me on this are saying, okay, well, then you tell me how it happened. I don't know how it happened. I just know that it's happened before. When LeBron left and left Cleveland, the Cavaliers won the lottery and got Kyrie Irving. Like, we have seen this happen before, where New Orleans loses and Anthony Davis, and the next year they win the NBA draft lottery and they get Zion. Like, We have seen this in NBA history. This is the 5th or 6th time this has happened where a team is in desperate need of getting the top pick to help business. And people say the NBA is rigged. I don't think the games are rigged. I don't. But I do believe the draft lottery is rigged. There's too much money in play here for all this to happen for Cooper Flagg, who is 18, 19 years of age, to wind up going to the Dallas Mavericks. I just don't buy it. It's too perfect. You're a math person. If this came across your desk, what do you say if this happened? If somebody hit this level of a parlay, you'd go, hold on a second. What?
Well, we'd have to see how they did it. That would be the first order of business. I mean, this is the odds of this happening are literally looking outside. It raining today in Vegas. No, it's not raining. It may not rain again here until August. So I don't know. Butchie says it will happen again.
He's right.
There's a lot of things that, again, sports are not rigged. Okay.
Games are not rigged.
Games are not rigged. Games are
Right.
not rigged.
I agree.
But this leads you to believe that, woo, something's up here. I mean, and we got the chat flowing. Quacks like a duck, walks like a duck. It's the NBA. Thank you, Chicago, Kristen.
I mean, they're not even like trying today. Like, I'm still waiting, and that's I had 2 tweets that went crazy viral, but one of those, I'm waiting for the video to come out from the NBA, the doctored video that shows how the Mavericks won, because they're going to have to prove this. I know they like it right now, but after about 48 hours of having rigged be trending on social media, they're going to want to do something to show that it wasn't rigged.
I don't think so.
You think they're just going to let it go?
Just past the news cycle in 48 hours, it'll be done. We'll be talking about something else.
I don't know, Dave. We really saw a seismic shift in the NBA last night because of this. I mean, because it's not.
Well, I mean, Cooper Flagg was not going to Utah or Washington.
It's not just that pick, though, Dave. The Spurs are going to trade for Giannis. It's not just that Dallas won. It's the fact that San Antonio got the second pick. That San Antonio can turn around and go to Milwaukee. Hey, we'll give you a package, including the second pick in the draft for Giannis. And there are 3 or 4 really talented players at the top of this draft that would be pretty attractive to the Spurs, to the Bucks, to take Giannis, who clearly wants out of Milwaukee. So it's not just Flagg going and not playing for Charlotte and not playing for Utah, which, if you want to talk about a silver lining to all of this, well, in terms of tanking, the Jazz and the Wizards were supposed to be 1-2, and they're 5-6.
Right.
I mean, they got screwed last night.
Has to be like, man, what are we doing? We're trying to lose to get more balls. And I just said it out loud, thinking like more balls is better, and more balls is not better in this situation. It ends up worse.
Yeah.
It stinks. I mean, again, whether they do it live, I mean, they put it up, they did it right there. It is what it is. There's more questions than answers after it. That stinks, you know. And last year, Atlanta got it right with the. Is that what Kyle said? Atlanta had the number 1 pick with a 3% chance.
Yep.
Okay. Were they crying rigged then?
Yes, they were, but just there wasn't a player like Cooper Flagg. But yes, there were people who were definitely wondering how in the hell that happened.
Right.
They were questioning the ping pong balls, going, "Why aren't you guys doing this in public? Like, why aren't you guys doing this out in front of everybody?"
Yeah.
And they are worried about what might happen if something crooked goes down, so they do it in private. It needs to be done in public, or stop doing this and just give the worst team the first pick in the draft. Could you imagine if the NFL? Can you imagine if the NFL did this? If the NFL had a draft lottery and a ping pong ball came out and the team, like, I don't know, like the Lions or somebody, or not the Lions. I mean, who missed the playoffs barely last year? Like the Cowboys. Like, you have the Cowboys win the first pick in the draft and they get a chance to draft Hunter or Ward or whoever they want. People would lose their minds over this.
Yeah, I mean, it would be different, but at the same time, they've made it this way by being such a disparity. There's teams that win 60 something games, and there's teams that win 12. Like, you can be really bad in the NFL. I mean, there's one or two teams usually that win 4 games. Maybe one that's like really bad wins 2 or 3. But everyone else is kind of in the middle. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then the elite teams at the top. I don't know what the answer is. I wish there was relegation. Would incentivize teams to win.
Fair.
This incentivizes teams to lose, yet it doesn't pay off. Daniel G just said it in the chat here. Detroit finished with top odds 4 years in a row and picked 5 every time. Utah and Washington, get in line, bub. It happens.
I don't know. Whether it was rigged or not, I believe it was. And I believe the NBA's had their thumb on the scale for a long time with this. Again, I cannot prove it. I cannot tell you how they're doing it and the way that they're doing it. I'm just telling you that, like Kristen said, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. And it's been going on for years with the NBA. This is not a one-time thing, that there has been a very business beneficial result to where a star player is going. Again, LeBron and Kyrie, LeBron going to Cleveland, Kyrie going to Cleveland. Same thing when it came to what happened with the Pelicans and getting Zion. Now we're talking about Cooper Flag going to the Dallas Mavericks after they traded Luka. Luka got sent to the Lakers to help the Lakers and to help TV ratings internationally for the NBA, which it all worked out perfectly. And Nico Harrison now gets to run around and be on a video of jumping up and down about getting the number 1 pick and getting Cooper Flag. Like it all worked out perfectly for the NBA, too perfectly for the NBA. And that's why you can't trust it, because that's not how life works. Sports don't work like this. Nothing falls into place perfectly in domino fashion like this has when it comes to math and ping pong balls.
So for the future of tanking, I just saw Dave's Daily Picks. What if you reversed it? The team that just missed the playoffs gets the most balls. And you incentivize trying to win and make the playoffs.
Love it. Yeah, great.
Just flip it.
Yeah, I'm in.
That's not a bad idea, Dave's Daily Picks.
It's not. I think that's a good idea, actually. The problem with it would be is if a team, and it just happened, the Dallas Mavericks in the play-in tournament, and then they got the number 1 pick. I mean, this team's going to have Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, and Cooper Flag next year. The Dallas Mavericks are in the playoffs next year, guaranteed. Like if they stay healthy, they're a championship.
If they stay healthy, yeah.
If they stay healthy, they're a championship caliber team with that core. Like that's a good team in Dallas. They don't need the number 1 pick, but they get it because they traded Luka. Now, how did it all get orchestrated? I don't know. But David Stern has been accused by numerous people, not just, Tim Donaghy, but numerous people have accused David Stern of being involved heavily in a variety of different. Remember when Chris Paul, that trade got vetoed by David Stern because he said it was against the competitive balance of the league? Like the NBA has been notorious for this for a long time.
Chris Paul to the Pelicans.
Yeah. Where was Chris Paul being traded to?
Right. He was on.
Was he on the Suns? Where was he at the time? I forget. But I remember the Chris Paul trade got vetoed because it was against the competitive balance of the league.
Wasn't he with the Clippers?
No,
Chris Paul was with to the Clippers. New Orleans to the Clippers. Yeah.
Yeah, and he went ahead and said, sorry, no, I'm not going to allow that trade. Like, wait, what? What do you mean? Yeah. It's against the competitive balance of the league. You can't make that trade. That's ridiculous. But that's what the NBA has done for years. They're notorious for this crap. So, like, there's so much that this league, from a business perspective, has tried to control their talent and controlled where players wind up and where players go. And if you're a big market team, you get a lot of love. And if you're the Utah Jazz, go fly a kite. Sorry. You were supposed to get Cooper Flag. That's what you thought. You were going to get Cooper Flag. And then nope. Sorry. Not going to happen.
The whole thing was crazy. When it happened, I was getting ready to go on with K-Dub, and it was like, wait, what? The Mavericks got the 1, the Spurs got the 2, and the Sixers got the 3?
Sixers will mess that up like they always do. But What do you make of this? Would you trade the pick or keep Flag if you're the Mavericks? Trade Flag to win right now, or keep him and develop him?
Oh, I draft Flag. No, ask the poll. Give the boys and girls a poll right now. That's a great question for the poll. Would you trade that pick if you're the Mavericks, or draft Flag? Keep the pick, keep Flag, or trade the pick. That's the poll.
Yeah, I am 100%.
I think you would trade it
if I'm Dallas, yes. But if I'm this Maverick team right now, I would trade the pick 100%. Yes, but it would need to be Jaylen Brown, Giannis. It's a supermax player.
Oh wow! I would 100% draft Flag. He's young.
Oh, he's 18,
and he's the next one.
But that's the problem. He's young, and you have to wait 4 or 5 years for him to. I mean, Tatum and Brown, they drafted them at the same age. Took them a long time. They were the third pick in back-to-back drafts.
You got AD. Well, I mean, Kyrie's going to be hurt for a while, but like he'll be back eventually. I mean, they got the core. I think it's
he's not turning 19 till this season. He's so young.
That's what I mean.
Nico Harrison's not going to be around to develop Cooper Flag. He's not. He's not going to be around. Even if he wins or not, he's not going to be around. I mean, the franchise wants to stay in Dallas. They want to build the casino in Dallas. They're trying to get that. They keep on losing votes left and right in Dallas to get legalization for gambling, whether it be sports betting or table games. So that's not happening anytime soon.
They may be onto something with that, by the way, but that's a whole other story.
Well, the Sands Corporation's not down with that. They want that built, and they're trying hard to get it passed, and they're losing every time they're losing. And Texas may be smart to tell them no, that we're not going to be doing that. But if you look at this from a Mavericks perspective, you got to win now. Your fan base is furious. Now, you won the draft lottery, and you can build around Cooper Flag, but like, I don't know. I would be on the market looking around going, all right, who wants the pick? Oh, trade AD. Don't trade Cooper Flag.
Wow.
Okay.
BvB, Brendan Barber. Huh.
Trade. I mean, it'd be a market for him. 100% to be a market for him.
Wow.
Yeah, the Bucks should try to get it. I would agree with that. But the Bucks have Giannis, and they could trade Giannis to the Mavericks for the 1 pick. 100%. That would be. I would entertain that. But I think it's more likely from a salary perspective for Giannis to wind up with the Spurs than it is the Mavericks. That's the most likely landing spot according to all the capologists.
Wow.
Money wise. And then if Giannis, I mean, the Celtics would never swap stars. It would be stunning if Boston would trade Jaylen Brown for Giannis, but you could make the money work for that too, if you wanted to switch. But that's not, Boston's going to look, we'll get to that in a second, but Boston's going to look to shed payroll, not exchange payroll. So that Giannis is greater than to the Rockets.
Wow.
Not horrible. Don't mind that. That's not awful. What are the odds that Dallas trades the pick, Dave? What would you put on it?
I would say no would be a big favorite.
Okay.
I mean, just from anything I've seen, like they're saying they're not trading it.
Well, I think everything's up for sale, right?
I mean, they got a Hail Mary with this.
What's the price? Yeah, but this is correct. They got this unbelievable gift. They're not going to give it up unless it's an absolute slam dunk. Otherwise,
it has to be a home run. That's it.
Yeah, because Cooper Flag can be the next one, like you mentioned. Cooper Flag could be the next great player. He could be the next superstar, transcendent. You go from, one guy who's 25 who you felt like was out of shape and didn't play defense to a guy who is in shape and plays defense who's going to be 19. And you're going to have him locked down for, the foreseeable future.
Oh, B-Germ 78 just said 0% already stated they aren't trading.
It means nothing to me.
Well,
it's May. Well, what they state today means nothing to me.
Right.
It's like NFL teams saying we're not trading the pick. Okay. But on draft day,
when is the NBA draft?
June. But Oh no, it's right after. It's during the NBA
It's
finals.
during the finals, right?
Yeah, it's in June. Yeah, it's June during
Somebody
the finals.
find it. Put it in the chat when the date is.
But they ended up like on draft day, the Giants still called the Titans. The Titans said for years or for weeks, we're not trading. Giants still called on draft day and said, "You sure? Because we'll trade you right now." So like, just because teams are saying they're not going to trade it doesn't mean that no one's going to call or no one's going to make offers.
June 25th.
Sounds right. That's what game probably 6 or 7 of the
June
finals.
25th. Oh my goodness.
Probably midway through the finals, somewhere in that range. Because you can't do it. You got to do it before game 4, right? Or I guess you got to do it around game 4 in case it's a sweep.
I don't know.
The finals are so spread out too. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be curious. I think it's gonna be fun to watch. I mean, Cooper Flagg last night on the broadcast was like weight of the world off his shoulders. He's going to Dallas. He's
going to Washington. He could have been going to Utah. He could have been going to Charlotte.
He's going
Teams
to a good place.
far away from being good.
And cities you may not want to live in, too. I mean, so he's going to Dallas. Like he's going to a great place to live. He's going to a state that will, Mark Cuban's not totally part of he's not totally gone. He's still in the picture a little bit. So you got him to take you under your wing and, be coached up and from a money standpoint. It's a wonderful place for him to be. I mean, Dallas is a tremendous landing spot for the league. It's great to put him in Dallas. For the league. It's great because they were going to lose the Mavericks. Yeah. I mean, the Sands Corporation, I do believe some of that. I've talked to our guy, RJ Choppy down there in Dallas. And like, there was a lot of people on the ground in Dallas that were afraid of what the Sands people were going to do because it looked like they were tanking to get out of there. So now they get a huge influx of season ticket holders who are going to want to buy tickets and people who are going to want to pay attention.
Right.
Because they have, like you called it, the next thing. They got the next guy. So
June 5th to June 22nd is what the finals are scheduled for. So
unbelievable.
The draft is right after the finals.
That is insanity.
Yeah.
The 5th to the 22nd. But,
17 days to play 7 games.
Unbelievable.
That's impressive.
Absolute TV show.
Yeah.
It is, but I don't think personality really matters all that much if you can hope. Punch drunk. I mean, if you can play, Jason Tatum's not the most charismatic guy in the world. We'll talk about him in a second.
I was going to say, would Flagg work on the Celtics?
Well,
they might need help.
Well, that was the rumor, right? The rumor was that Flagg and Tatum want to play together. They're Duke guys. So trade Jaylen Brown to Dallas for the 1 pick. But that's not going to happen. I don't believe. Let's get into it because the Knicks are up 3-1. Tatum gets seriously injured. They were going to lose the game anyway. It does suck, and this has been talked about a lot. It does suck for the fact that it was a turnover by Jaylen Brown that caused the injury. But if you go back, Tatum may have hurt the Achilles before. He was holding his ankle in the first half. So he may have already gotten hurt in game 4. And then he snapped it in the second half in the fourth quarter when he stepped back really quickly. I'm just going to say this. And this is a big moment for Jaylen Brown. The Celtics without Jason Tatum went 8-2 this year. Okay.
Yep.
Played 10 games without him. They won eight times.
Okay.
Jaylen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis, the reigning 6th man of the year in Peyton Pritchard, one of the best glue guys in basketball in Al Horford, one of the best defensive players in basketball in Drew Holiday. You've got a starting 5 that can beat the Knicks. You have a team that can beat the Knicks. Now, will they win in New York? I don't think so, because that building right now is a really hard place to go in there and play. And the Knicks are as clutch with Jalen Brunson as anybody in basketball.
Man.
So I don't think
that's the story.
But game 5, okay, in game 5, I'm going to be very surprised if Boston doesn't win game 5. They should win game 5.
They were going to win yesterday.
And they should be sending this back to New York. And again, it comes down to Boston and the defensive effort and just not playing connected basketball. And I understand why people are mad about Joe Mazzulla. And I was going back and forth with Wetzel last night for like 1:30 in the morning. And there are people who are Celtics fans who think that Mazzulla is awful and he should be fired. And I totally disagree. I don't believe that Mazzulla is to blame for this. And you can talk about the 20-point losses and you can talk about the game plan or the rotation, but this is still a guy who won over 60 games and won a championship last year. And it's weird to me how fast people forget what happened last year. And they still, and Wetzel did it last night, they still go back to the path. Well, that run, it was really easy last year.
They didn't get tested.
I'm like my head like almost came off my shoulders last night. I was like, we're still talking about the path. We're not going to get Joe Mazzulla.
Keep talking. I'm going to mute you for a second.
Go ahead. We still don't want to give Joe Mazzulla any credit, and I can't figure out why not. He is a young coach who has made mistakes, but the players love him. The players love playing for him, and the players have opportunities to do things with Joe Mazzulla. Even after the Tatum injury, that Tatum's 27, Brown is 28. They've got a ton of basketball left, a ton of hoops, and they're 8-2 without him in the lineup. If you watched the fourth quarter last night before the injury, Tatum was taking every shot. He was on a legendary run. He had 43 points. But maybe this team plays better basketball, better team basketball with Tatum on the sidelines. And Jaylen Brown, you're getting paid $300 million. You're the reigning NBA Finals MVP. This is your time. Like, this is your moment. This is your chance to do something significant. You cannot say that. Waro, he writes, if you're listening to the podcast, Tatum will never be the same, unfortunately, after this injury. We have no idea about that, okay? Kevin Durant has come back. In his 30s, Kevin Durant came back. Dominic Wilkins came back from this injury in his 30s. Tatum is 27 years old. He has age on his side. Now, I'll give it to you. He's going to miss all of next year because most likely it's a 6 to 9 month injury, and then you have to actually completely revamp everything, and it takes you months to get back into playing shape. So most likely it's June, July, August, whatever it might be of next year. So the goal should be training camp of next year, of next season, not 26, of 27, as to when you get Jason Tatum ramped up and ready to go. But I disagree with the idea that he'll never be the same player. I don't think that that's the case. I don't think we have any idea as to what's going to happen with this. So Tatum and Brown, the new ownership, and this is what Dave was talking about in terms of the trades, there are big changes coming to the Celtics when they lose this series. Let's just say that, if or when they lose this series, or if and when they get knocked out, because they're good enough. I think they're good. I think this team is still deep enough and good enough to beat the Knicks if they actually play defense and actually rebounded the basketball the way they're capable of. But if they are, and that's why I think game 5, you get a Herculean effort out of them in game 5. And game 6 will be a question as to whether or not they hit enough threes. They got to go and blow out the Knicks in game 6 to force a game 7. But let's just say they shock the world and win the series. They're not. Indiana would be a really tough matchup for them, just because of the way they're playing right now. And then they can't. Oklahoma City would run through Boston without Tatum. So they're not winning a championship. They're not going back to back. They ran this back. Boston ran this back with an owner that was selling the team. Wick Grossbeck knew he was selling the team. So he signed everyone. He brought everyone back. Their luxury tax hit next year is going to be outrageous. So this was going to be the last year, the last iteration of this Celtics team. Kristaps Porzingis will not be a Celtic next year. That is 100%. I am positive of that. Drew Holiday is a question. He may get traded. He may not. But it all comes down to Jaylen Brown, because if they're not trading Jason Tatum. Tatum is the face of the franchise. Tatum is a top 10 player in the league. They're not touching Tatum. Injury, no injury. Now you can't trade him because of the injury, but he's not. I mean, Tatum is your guy. He is the face of the Celtics. You can get good value for Jaylen Brown if you wanted to trade him in the offseason. And the new owners very well might be looking to trade him. I would not. I think you keep both those two guys together at all costs, and you look to make other smaller moves like Porzingis and Holiday, and you look to bring in cheaper options. You've got Peyton Pritchard and Derek White. You got two tremendous guards that are a little bit on the undersized, angle. I mean, Pritchard definitely, but you got guys who can shoot the rock. Derek White started that game 4 for 4 from behind the 3-point line last night, hit a ton of shots, was a huge weapon for them. You don't touch him. I've said this before. I think he's the third best player on the Celtics team. I think it's Tatum, Brown, White. So I don't touch either of those three guys. But everybody else, I think it's expendable. And I think everybody else will most likely be at least looked at to be moved in this offseason when the Boston Celtics year is over. Joe Mazzulla is not going anywhere, but I think Boston is going to look different. And that's why last night was so seismic, because the Tatum injury changes the dynamic in the East, without a doubt. The new ownership coming in, we'll see what they're going to do. Obviously, there's a lot of unease there about what they're going to do. And you've got Dallas now with the first pick in the draft to take Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg could have gone to the Wizards. He could have been in Washington. So they were expecting the Wizards maybe to have a franchise player, much like what happened with Cade Cunningham going to the Pistons. It took a couple of years for Cade Cunningham to get going, but now you got Cade Cunningham with the Pistons. So as he looks to go and develop, now Detroit's relevant. We'll see how long it would have gone. I am really curious to see the big picture, okay? Like the big picture of how the East is structured after this year. Because the Knicks feel like they got it, right? Knicks feel like they're going to be able to take down a lot. They're going to make, if they don't win the championship this year, they're going to make moves to try to get that missing piece, whatever that missing piece might be in their perception. The Pistons are going to be better. They're going to be a bigger problem next year as they continue their development and continue their rise. We know Indiana isn't going anywhere with Halliburton, with how they're performing at the moment, and they may be dispatching the Cavaliers. And the Cavaliers have had the worst injury luck of anybody in the NBA so far. So while Boston lost Tatum, there could be, Mitchell's going to be at least hampered by the ankle coming up tonight. And then you've got three other players who all have missed significant portions of time here in the league. So you got 4 Cavaliers really, who have been hurt in these playoffs. So next year it's been Boston and then everyone else. That's not the case next year. Without Tatum being a part of in the Eastern Conference now looks much different. So I do agree with the idea that the NBA had a seismic shift last night. There was a tectonic shift in power in the NBA, and Boston is still a part of the conversation, but not like this year, where the odds were Boston and OKC for the entire year, and everyone else was just way, way down. I think it's going to be fun to see how it all goes. I think it's going to be an interesting thing to see the way this all breaks down over the next couple of weeks. And then what Boston does in this series. I don't want to say Joe Mazzulla has to win a game but I think he needs to calm down the Celtic fans that really blame him for a lot. They blame him for the game 2 loss. Like they say, everyone's saying this series should be 2-2, not 3-1. The reason why they're down 3-1 is because they blew game 2 and they should have won game 2. And that was coaching. And he didn't have the team making the right adjustments defensively or stop taking the 3s, take the 2s. And it would, but again, look what they shot last night. Okay. They shot really well in the first half and they were only up by 11. That was the problem. And I think it was Kendrick Perkins said it at halftime was like, the Knicks should be thanking their lucky stars. They're only down by 11. They're in the game. And they were in the game. And they were able to get to the fourth quarter. And that's their whole game plan. Just get the game to the fourth quarter. We talked about it before the series ever started. Get it to Brunson time. Hi.
Talking about the Knicks.
We're going to move on from my ranting on the Celtics and the Knicks. But yes.
I felt like you were doing your old radio show.
It's amazing. I did 4 hours by myself for years, so I can do it. I can rip and go if I have to.
My goodness.
It's capable.
What was the longest segment you did when you did the 4-hour show? What was it, 12 minutes? I think the interview we did was 15 minutes.
Oh, on national radio or in Omaha? I did 3 hours nationally, 4 hours locally.
No, I know, but like the segments were segmented. I think the pushing the
18
odds segment was, I think,
Six-
17 minutes
Yeah,
or 16 minutes.
16 minutes was the long segment. We had one really long segment on the clock, which was the worst clock I ever had in my life. But that clock was dumb because I think it was like I think there were 44 minutes of talk time, but there was one 16-minute segment and one 6-minute segment, which was
Right.
like, what? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But then we didn't come on the air until like 6 past the hour. And I hated that because it's like you lost everything. It was like, what are we front loading the ads for? I mean, it's a different topic, but yeah, we.
Are you good? Did you get it all out? It's
No,
over,
good.
right? It's done. It's it. Celtics aren't
it's
winning
not
the
over.
series.
It's not over.
Celtics are winning. Celtics don't have Tatum. You think they got a shot at winning the series?
I do. They're only plus 460, Dave. The books do too. They should be way bigger dogs. Boston wins game 5. That is cut in half. They're now plus 250.
Yeah. And then what?
Then it's up to game 6. Can they go in there and steal game 6? Because if they steal game 6, every sphincter in the tri-borough area is going to be tight as hell on 7. I'm just telling you, it's not impossible. We've seen it before. Okay.
No Tatum.
They're 8-2 without him this year.
Yeah, that's when Porzingis was healthy or just
Porzingis
able
is
to play.
healthy.
What is he doing?
He played well last night. He was good last night. They should have won the game last night. Porzingis was great. They just stopped hitting threes again. And defensively, I mean, look it. Basketball is a game of runs. And that building, I hate Knicks fans, but you have to give him credit right now. I mean, that building is an absolute horror show for opposing teams.
Electric.
It's a horror show. It becomes a ball rolling downhill, and you can't stop it. So that's what it should be 2-2. Boston should have won game 2. It should be 2-2. It's 3-1 because of what happened in game 2. You have a $300 million player. It's Jaylen Brown's time. He played like crap last night. Awful.
All right.
He's got to be the star. Absolute star.
So if Boston's a 4.5-point favorite, and this is the hard part, boys and girls, like trying to come up with the numbers without knowing, Tatum's out.
Yeah.
So the number's 4.5 right now for game 5 at home. Game 6 on the road.
Yep.
Pick them, Knicks small.
Holy
somewhere
crap.
in that neighborhood.
The Knicks aren't favored in game 6 at home?
Pick them or Knicks small. Yeah, they'll be.
Wow. I thought they'd be at least 4 or 5 point favorites.
This is an 8-point reversal.
Yeah. In New York? Yeah.
I don't think it's, I think it's 2.5 tops.
Wow.
I mean, if I give you a free shot at 4, everybody's going to be saying, well, especially Boston wins and looks impressive. So, I don't know.
All I'm saying is I'm not throwing dirt on this Celtics roster at the moment and saying that this team was the deepest team in the NBA. They're elite with Tatum. They're still very good without him. You need Jaylen Brown to be the man, and it's going to be on him. This is his moment. You want to prove that you could be a guy, you can be the A side of a team. This is your time. Go and win the series. Go score 35 points and grab 10 rebounds. Be the best player on the court. He can do it. He's capable of. He did it last year in the finals. So just needs to get after it. So I'll be very, very curious to see if they decide to play defense and change the way that they're playing without Tatum. That would be my question for Joe Mazzulla. You can't have the same game plan that you have with Tatum. You can't shoot 63s.
I would think not.
You can't do that. So if they try to, that's going to be a problem. Like, and then I want to see who gets the shots that Tatum normally takes. That's the other question. How many? Yeah, I think everyone's taking the Celtics in the next game. I think that's going to be the very popular play.
In game 5.
Yeah. Is betting
they
Boston.
Extend the series.
Yeah.
Book's been doing pretty okay with needing the dogs.
Oh
dogs
my
winning.
God. Have they ever? This comes from our friend Raheem. How about this? Favorites are 4-8 straight up, 3-9 against the spread in the second round. We've never seen an NBA season where 2 60-win teams are down 3-1 in the second round.
It's good for the books, man. That's a big result. Oh, man. They were worried about it,
to get rid of
April
those
being
two,
bad.
Cleveland and Boston, get rid of those two.
I can't
mean-
imagine how many exactas are sweeping on that.
Right? How many parlays?
I have a sheet that I wrote down all the numbers before the playoffs because I was going to go out and do some shopping.
Okay.
And they're all the Celtics and the Cavs prices.
Makes sense.
Yeah, Maroon. Wow. I'm
That could
glad
be
I
cool.
didn't make one play. I have them all written down. And I was like, I got a line here and I got a line here because I was, trying to find the best price. And then things happened. And, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing any of this right now. And it turns out that was good because I would have had probably would have had live tickets to either one of them, but do either one of them make the finals?
No.
That's it.
I think Indiana has a huge shot here.
Tonight.
Pace, I mean, in the next series too. They have a huge,
Oh, yeah.
Indiana's got a huge chance. Pacers in the final. It could be Pacers Timberwolves in the finals.
Hold on. Just if it's Pacers Knicks, what's the number? Series
Pick.
price.
Pick.
Knicks have home court.
Pick.
Wow. Really?
Like the Knicks are playing at a very high level right now. They're going to come back down to earth. It's going to happen.
Wow.
They're going to come back. This is not who the Knicks are. They're just hot. And they're playing really well. But this is not who they really are. Like, this is not.
Nick Tom says Knicks minus 160. That's a pretty good number. That ain't no pick 'em.
And I would not agree with that. He predicts it. Says I don't agree with it.
Well, I
this
think
is
that's
not
closer to the number.
Is this true? SoCal.
SoCal DJ breaking news. Pete Rose and others removed from the MLB ban list per ESPN. After the fact. Oh, sports are crazy right now.
Really are.
So many things going on.
Yes, the West is winning the cup. I would agree with that. The West is winning. Whoever wins the West wins the championship. I agree.
Really?
Yes. And I hope it's Minnesota. I would love it for our Minnesota friends.
Oh.
I would love it to get them a championship because they've been so snake bitten for so long. This is a window. They got a window. They got to beat OKC. I'm not sure they can beat OKC. But
I mean, they beat the Warriors.
I mean, without Curry.
Is that it? He's done?
Back? Will Curry play in game 5? I don't think so. I wouldn't play either. I wouldn't play Curry anymore. I mean, they looked lethargic at times last night. I mean,
11.5 now? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Western Conference Finals, Minnesota Timberwolves. Woo, baby.
And then tonight, OKC wins tonight. They're up 3-2. And then they close it out in Denver. And we've got OKC up against Minnesota.
Young Bucks, OKC.
I mean, it's good for the league.
Minnesota. It sure is.
It's good for the league to have this. No Lakers, no Celtics. If the Knicks lose, I'm not sure it's great for TV revenue and TV ratings. Timberwolves Pacers is a disaster. That's an absolute disaster.
Is it?
Oh, that's a ratings disaster. Yeah. Yeah, that's got guys in New York under their desks sucking their thumbs. That's so bad. Like they're furious about that. Yeah, no. Try getting anybody in like New England, anybody in Florida, anybody in California to pay attention. No.
It's funny. I did a radio show. I went on Billy's show over the weekend.
Nice.
Billy Schweim, who we had on Super Bowl week.
Yep.
He said he hasn't watched one NBA playoff game. Because the Sixers were out of it and he just lost touch with the NBA. He hasn't watched one playoff game. I mean, there's probably cities like that are going to just go away.
LA's like that.
Yeah.
The entire market of LA is like that. Yes.
Right.
All of them, the entire LA market with the Clippers and the Lakers have stopped.
Bay Area will go away when the Warriors
correct.
lose.
Yep. So the number 2 market goes away. And then the Knicks lose, the number 1 market goes away. So then you're, you're in trouble. Look, having two teams.
You think it's that easy? Like, you think the Pacers would beat the Knicks?
Yes.
Man.
I think they will be the next. I think the Pacers will be the next. Yes.
Okay.
I really like the way athletically there is such a difference. There's a big mismatch. I thought the Celtics were going to have a tough time with the Pacers just because of how athletic they are, how long they are. I mean, they match up really well with New York. And the question I have for the Knicks when it comes like the guard play for the Pacers, they should be able to guard Brunson, at least better than Boston can. One of Boston's big problems right now is they have not been able to figure out how to stop Brunson. Like just because they can't double team him because that's opened up too many threes. And Porzingis has just been lethargic. He wasn't so bad in the first 3 quarters last night. Wasn't great in the fourth, but he was good for the first 3 quarters. That they just haven't had the same type of defensive intensity. I mean, I'll say this: I'm not going to blast Missoula the way others are, but you have to give Tibbs a lot of credit for the game plan that he has put forth here and the adjustments he has made after halftime to whatever Missoula is doing. He has had a counter move. And so Carlisle versus Tibbs is a pretty fun coaching matchup. That's going to be fun to watch. So I like Indiana. I do. I like the way they're playing a lot. I like the way they're coached. This is when I thought Carlisle got kind of a raw deal in Dallas. And so I mean, this has been the year. I think we've all been waiting for this. And last year was the first time you're like, ooh, Indiana's got something. They pushed Boston. And then now you've got the path is there for the Pacers. If the Pacers won the whole thing, it wouldn't stun me. I mean, they're long shots to do it, but Halliburton's playing at a different level right now.
OKC's what? Even money to win the NBA championship?
Minus 105, and then the Knicks are plus 550, and everybody else is 6-1 or higher. Might
have to shop the exact OKC to beat the Pacers. Would you say that was in the chat? Who said that? Plus 450? Thank you, Whitrock.
It's a good bet.
Huh. I mean, lock that price in.
Yeah.
If you think the Pacers got a shot. I don't know. Does OKC win tonight? Big favorite.
I think they do, yes.
Cover?
Yes. I think that series is probably over. I mean, I think they play at home. They're not losing a game at home. They might lose in Denver, but they're not losing game 5. They're not losing game 7. So that's why the price is what the price is. It's $6. So, that moved. Seth, where is that? Where is plus 115?
Wow.
Because FanDuel was 105 last night. So where's that? Where's that?
You guys, wherever you're at, put in your price for OKC to win the championship. See if it's still plus money.
Yeah, that's
a DK, good. He said.
Wow. Okay. Not bad. FanDuel was laying 105 last night for that.
Yeah. Trying to get ahead of it. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, post it in the Discord. Please do. Yeah, go and do that, Seth. Post it in our Discord channel. That'd be good.
Thank you.
Go do that. It's still 105 at FanDuel right now. Okay. Yep. Thanks, Nick Tom. Wow.
Thank you.
Why the move, Dave? Why the move? Why the change?
Well, I think, some books probably have a little more future exposure and say, let's get ahead of this. If OKC is going to win tonight, let's make them minus money to win the championship. Maybe we'll get some money on someone else. I mean, I'd be out looking for not Pacer money. The Pacer prices were big. I'm sure Pacer number for some books is like, yeah, let's go Cleveland.
No, you want OKC to win it all. OKC is the best scenario for the books now.
For the books, yeah.
So,
I mean, the sooner Indiana gets eliminated, the better. There's some big numbers on the Pacers.
Yeah,
100-1.
Whoo,
80-1. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Pacers OKC is as bad as Minnesota, Indiana. I would agree.
Damn, that's like they're going to go back to, the hockey equivalent of Edmonton and Carolina when that happened. They were all whining.
Yep.
I went to game 3 in Edmonton. It was awesome.
The markets will love it. I mean, the individual markets will be all over it, but the country is going to yawn and go, okay, what's my honeydew list? Okay, I got to go. Bye.
This is the Texas Rangers against the Arizona Diamondbacks in the World Series a couple years ago. And they,
100%.
All the ratings were, this was the worst one ever, blah, 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 blah.
Right. To hockey, Vegas and Washington are both down 3-1 after losing last night. Vegas was never in that game last night.
Nope.
Never. Washington kind of was, but I mean, Thompson gave up that third goal, and that was it.
They were down. Yeah, when they made it 2-1, and I thought, okay, then it was 3-1, but then it was 3-2.
Right, but I still was like,
and it was like, okay, but they were running out of time, and you knew they were going to have to pull the goalie, and all that was going to come, and then boom, another
goal.
Under went way over.
Dead because of the open net.
Yeah.
So, I was hoping for a 3-2 final. I'm like, can I survive? Can I survive? And no. Can't survive.
But yeah, the Knights were a step behind. They couldn't get the puck to the net. We were watching the game, and Kendall was like holding out hope that they were going to come back and score because she has the Knights beating them in her bracket. And she's like, yeah, I don't think they're going to score. Or I said to her, she said, well, maybe they're going to score 3 goals here in the third period and tie it. And I'm like, they're not going to score 1 goal. It's a shutout. So she was mad after the fact that I was right.
If you're looking for comebacks, just 9.1% of NHL teams who are down 3-1 have won their series historically. That is 32 times out of 351. The NBA is even worse. The NBA is just 4.5% of the time that they have come back down 3-1. So it does happen more often than hockey, but the Capitals and the Golden Knights, they're not coming back, right? Both those series are over.
I don't think Vegas is. Washington wins game 5 and turns something around and somehow gets game 6. Then we're maybe, but Carolina looks better too.
I don't think Thompson's terrible. I know Yorkie, you hate him. I didn't put that loss on him last night. He wasn't great, but I don't think it was him.
Now you can tell Chicago Kristen is a hockey parent and around sports. Do you see this?
I made the mistake of putting her thing on yesterday. I can't put that on today.
Can I read that though?
No.
Why? Vegas was interested in that game like a stripper interested in her client in the champagne room. Very lackluster and only doing the moves. That is very witty. That's good. That 100% needed to be made up and put up on the chat. That was good. That's what watching the show live, guys. If you do, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. We do see the comments. We've been a little bit distracted with able to answer a lot of them, but say anything you want in those comments, and we'll get it going. If you watch it on the YouTube, but that was great.
Edmonton, Florida, Edmonton, Toronto. You think Edmonton's going no Dallas? We're just going to pass by the Stars. I think both those go out. I need a Dallas exacta, JPC. Come on now. We're just going to ignore Dallas. Dallas is the best team in the West.
Skinner got a shutout last night. That was.
Did you see the numbers that Addison put up? Did you see this? In Skinner in games 1, 2, and 3 of a series is like a goaltender that needs to be sent to the AHL.
Okay.
In games 4, 5, 6, and 7, he's Patrick Waugh. Like he's insane. They're like 11-1. He's incredible. Late in the series, all of a sudden it completely changes for how he plays.
Wow. Okay.
So maybe a chance for Edmonton to ride Skinner.
I'd be hard pressed to pick against them right now. And that Edmonton, Florida one looks pretty damn good for an exacta. I like Dallas. I like the way Florida flipped the whole series and the momentum and everything for them.
Right.
I'm hoping Toronto can win game 5. Because if they lose game 5, it's over. They ain't winning game 6 on the road. Dallas is the wild card.
Give me the Stars.
Okay.
Stars tonight too. Rockies lost again last night. They are 7-34. So much for the dead cat bounce. Didn't happen. Are they going to be the worst team ever?
They are on pace. Yes. They are on pace. bad. I looked at the standings last night. Wow, the ESPN's got Traeger on. He's got a tie on. Everybody's got to play by the rules. That's it. That's it. Got a suit and tie on. Looks comfortable. Not.
You say not. Like it's
Did I say that out loud?
Like it's 1995. You really
Yeah.
said-
It looks comfortable. Not. They are 20 games out of first place.
Yes.
It's
already.
May 13th.
Yep.
They are terrible.
They have
Yes.
2 wins on the road. They're 2-15 on the road.
Can't.
Gonna lose again today.
Right?
It's just they are unbelievable how bad the Rockies are. 7-34. You said it. You go to the book every day. You need the Rockies every day, and so far they are not helping.
Every single day. Yeah. Like when I would go in, say I worked the 11 to 7 shift or 12 to 8.
Dave, April 23rd. I've bet against them every single day since April 23rd.
There you go. How's that work out?
I got to Jamaica. I just started betting against them.
Right.
I've been doing
And
wonderful.
you're up. Right.
100%. Yes, I'm way
Yeah.
up. It's just I'm just finding a dance partner every day. I find the biggest favorite on the board and just pair it up with whoever the Rockies are playing. 2-leg money line parlay. It's always even money or plus 105 every day. Just ding, 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 ding.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's just every day. That's just the automatic bet of the day every day.
So we'll ask the chat. Do they have the worst record in baseball? Yes or no? At the end of the season,
Their starting 5 needs to be on the Savannah Bananas
I'd argue that a couple of the bananas need to be in their lineup.
in the Rockies lineup.
Yes, those guys can do backflips and catch balls, and
True.
and do all kinds of
Right.
stuff. So,
Right. It might be better than some of
mean-
the Rockies guys.
Yeah.
Do you know that the owner of the Rockies is part of the competition committee and he's trying to put forth a salary floor, a salary cap on how much not teams can spend on their roster, how much teams can spend on scouting, development, in their front office?
Why?
Because he doesn't want to spend any money on anything. So he wants to cap it across the board that teams cannot spend, that there is a actual cap on all expenditures for teams when it comes to trying to win.
That's very interesting.
It's not just like what the Yankees are paying for their players. No, it's what they're paying their GM, their scouting department, their development department, their physical therapy department, all of that. They want to cap. He wants to cap it all. Which is like,
I just
really,
don't-
dude? Bad.
Yeah, I don't know what you accomplish with that.
You keep your costs down so you can make more money.
I know, but like I hope he's talking to other people and saying, "Oh yeah, I'll vote with you on that." Like, because if he goes into a room of 30 billionaires
Right?
and says, "Hey, I'm gonna make a motion. We're gonna put up this thing that says you can only spend so much money trying to improve yourself." Well, what do you mean? We're not getting a salary cap? No. This isn't a salary cap for the players. This is for everything else. Scouting, GM, all this other stuff.
Dick
Yeah.
Monfort, owner Dick Monfort, has publicly advocated for both a salary cap and a salary floor in Major League Baseball, but he has also advocated for flat spending and salary caps on all club expenditures.
That's amazing.
He
I had to
expressed
put
that
this in
sports are supposed to have some sort of fairness. He
Uh-huh.
sees how the Dodgers are spending on their team, both on the field and off the field, as an example of something that has to be changed.
I might need to sell the team.
You think? Like, you might need to stop. Like, you might need to stop doing this because yes, I know the Dodgers are doing a lot of things, but the idea of capping everything, like, maybe just sell the team.
It's hard when the product is all the same. Right? Baseball is baseball. Football is football. You're all competing. You all have the same product, just in a different city. So something has to be equal. I mean, the NFL's figured it out. You know, Kansas City Chiefs are the team to beat
Right.
in middle America, you know, and every once in, recently. Philadelphia beat them. Okay, that's a big market.
Mhm.
But Green Bay's in it. It's the smallest market. Like there's has to be a way to get it done. That isn't it.
It's early in the show, but it's still time. No.
Was
Played
ready
the
for
wrong-
the better to book it, and you
Played
hit
the
him
wrong
with
one.
the back-to-back. Holy
Play the
crap.
wrong one. Sorry. Played the
Woo!
wrong one. Brigade Proxy Service NFL story of the day.
Damn.
The NFL announced its international games today. This is the most games that will be played not in America. Hey, you might be whining, but your bookmaker friends have already put lines out for these games, Dave, and your team is playing in one of them.
I know. Wake me up. That's
I
great.
mean, we don't know who yet the Chargers are playing. Team yet to be announced on the on the 5th of September. But then your team, the Steelers, will play in Ireland up against the Vikings. And then the Vikings will become the first team to play in two different countries. They're playing in Ireland, and then they're going to go play at Tottenham Stadium against the Browns.
Mm.
Broncos, Jets, only one game for the Jaguars overseas. That's news.
Yeah.
Rams, Jags, Falcons, Colts, and the Commanders against the Dolphins are your international games. Are you cool with this number of games overseas?
Oh, it's a mess for the book. It's hard. It messes up the schedule. There's 6:30 a.m. games in Vegas. They're all right. They're all 9:30 Eastern starts. So,
yep.
No, it's again, they become neutral site games. So, your numbers are messed up.
The Vikings got screwed. Got screwed.
I think so. I don't think that there's a lot of people saying that this is a big advantage and they play two games. Yeah, because they're in one place already and they just hop over and play in the other game. Someone else has to come back. They get the bye week after both.
And people
right?
realize that like Ireland to Tottenham Stadium is not like going from like LA over to Santa Monica. Like it's still it's still a pretty good distance to go. You gotta, the English Channel is between the two of them for starters. So like you have to fly there. It's a flight. It's changing venues. It's practicing. It's being gone from your family and your loved ones. And no one's ever been asked to do this before for a reason. Like they've had teams play 2 weeks in a row by staying over there and playing in the UK or in London or in England. This is two different countries in 2 different weeks.
I don't get it.
For the Vikings.
I'll say it. I mean, the NFL does what they want to do.
Yep.
And that's fine.
Yep.
But I understand trying to grow the game internationally. This is too much.
This is a great point.
Minnesota accents, Ireland accents. I want to be in those bars. Oh, add the long O's to whatever that Irish accent is. Oh, baby.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
It's too much for me. You?
I understand, and the point you made is I agree with that. I get growing the game. I don't need my sport to be outsourced to other countries consistently to this level. Once in a while, a couple times, fine. I don't need this to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How many games is enough? 10, 12, 20?
Well, it reduces the importance of them.
True.
Right? Like when you do it more,
yep.
You're like, oh, well, they're in Barcelona. Over here, it's another game in another place at a different time on an odd number schedule, like time. So it's like it doesn't matter where they're at here to us as fans, or fans of the team.
I like
Minnesota
4 or 5.
would rather play, one game.
Yeah, I'm okay with like I think it's a neat thing if. All right, so let's just do Minnesota for a second. So if you're a Viking fan and your team is going to Ireland, all right, that's fun. So maybe we plan one trip to go over to go and watch one game. So there's 2 or 3 international games per fan base per year. That's what it was when it started. It was like, okay, we're going to send the Jaguars over there a couple of times. We're going to have a couple other teams go over there. And then I know some of the owners saw the the paycheck that came from going over there, and that got them a little bit more upset and interested because they're like, wait a minute, that's a lot of merchandise that was sold. I remember when the Patriots went over there and played in Germany, there was a big talk about they sold out of all the Patriot gear at the pop-up pro shop.
Yeah.
Wiped it out. So there was a ton of money being made by the Patriots and by the NFL to go over there. So I get why other teams like the Commanders now want to go over there and the Dolphins want to go over there and whatnot. But like it takes away from the idea that these games, okay, we're going to play 18 eventually, right? We're playing 17 now. We're going to play 18 eventually. And that's their excuse that like, hey, we're going to play 18 games so we can send these teams overseas because you aren't going to lose your home games. We're just going to add a game to the schedule. At what point does the product suffer from all of this?
I think it is.
And the league starts to have, we start watching bad games consistently because of the travel and the number of times these guys are playing.
Bad games on bad fields. Injuries are occurring. Listen, the NFL strength is that it's played on Sundays and or Monday at the same time. They changed the uniforms a little bit now, but like it's the same. It is the so wow, Matt's going to be real mad once the Europe division is announced. No,
I won't be.
Jay Park,
I actually like it. I'm not going to get mad at all. I would prefer it because then you can plan for that.
Right.
I would rather them have that because again, we talked about this. The flight time from Boston to LA is the same as Boston to London. Okay. They're both 6 hours. So it's the same flight time. So I'm not opposed to having games in Europe. Put teams there, but they're not playing in home stadiums. They're playing in soccer stadiums or multi-function facilities that were built like Hotspur Stadium was built with the football in mind, our football in mind. So they've got locker rooms and whatnot and sight lines that are meant for football. I'm okay with a European division. I don't like what they're doing right now. I don't like this laying the groundwork.
Close the poll for the number one trade the first pick because we got 70% said no, 30% said yes. Ask the audience right now. Nice crowd in here, by the way. Thank you for being here. Again, hit the like button, please, on the way out. See how many likes we can get. Try to get 100 likes. That'd be crazy. We haven't got 100 likes since before the Super Bowl. Do you like the international games, NFL games? Yes or no? Some people love them, P-Roll.
Why?
I don't know.
What's to love about the international games? It's a game, but what's to love about them? Like you could say they don't bother me, but why would you love them? That would be an odd thing. I would need to know the answer.
As a team, as a fan of the team, like Newbie went to a London game.
Okay. Fun, I'm assuming.
For the
right?
Eagles. He had a tremendous time. Stories forever. Went, spent 3 days, and the last day went to the game and then came home. Never would have done it unless the Eagles were playing there.
Right. No. I mean, I'm doing that. I'm going to Scotland and I wouldn't have gone. I'm not going to Edinburgh to go to Edinburgh. I'm going to Edinburgh and I'm going to see Oasis. Like that's what I get the idea of like having a tent pole event. And that's why you go overseas and you go to London for that reason or England for that reason or the UK for that reason. I understand that. So that's cool. But why do we need to have 8, 9, 10 games for that to be happening? Like, why can't we just have like 3 or 4?
Right.
Like I'm good with the international games. I think it's neat to do it once in a while, but like Mexico City, Brazil, Ireland, Germany, like this is getting to be a little nuts here. There's too many of them. That's my problem. Just too many.
I'm just surprised they just give up the home games like that. There's a lot of revenue in those home games, no?
There's some structure that makes it work financially for the teams when they go over there. The NFL makes it worth their while.
Okay.
To do it, I hate Sunday mornings at my face. It's true. For us on the West Coast, it's damn early. It's 6:30 in the morning.
Well, that I like it in that regard because it gives the East Coast people a taste of West Coast football. It starts at 9:30.
Right.
East.
And we say, is that fun? Isn't that fun? We like that. We
love it.
We enjoy it.
Yeah.
6:30 is. Hold on, bro.
Yeah, that's not good.
6:30 is interesting. This next story is. Did you pay this to be written? Because I'm questioning whether or not you had this as pay for play.
What?
News of the industry today is you. You are the news of the industry.
What'd I do?
What did you do? Well, you were focused. You're part of a story today on your fashion.
Oh, Edelstein. Yeah.
InGame.com wrote
Yeah.
an article about 3 people in the sports betting world and their fashion. Roxy, Crack, and you.
Yeah.
And you admitted out loud you have how many pirate hats?
38.
You admitted this publicly.
I know.
38 hats of one
38.
team.
Yeah. I have them like organized in this thing, and the Pirates are the only team with 2. Like pull out like shelf looking things. The Pirates have 2. Well, don't forget, I was working for the Pirates doing the videos for the pregame show.
Okay.
So I accumulated a bunch of different pirate hats. I had some from before, and then doing the hits or the videos with the hats became the thing. So when they put out a different hat, I had to get it. So I have way too many.
You got it,
hats.
or they sent it to you? Like you bought?
No.
yourself?
The one trip I went back for the game in Pittsburgh, they hooked me up. They hooked me up
with how many
hats?
How many?
I think I got 5.
They gave you 5, or you bought 5?
No, I got 5 from them.
Okay.
They said you can pick what you want. I was like, all right, well, I can't decide between this. They said they're yours. So that was good. But yeah, I have way too many pirate hats.
Did Jessica know this? Like when you said this out loud, it's now in an article about how, but the story, I mean, why I'm bringing this up also is pretty cool because the 3 of you guys all have a similar backstory as to what caused you to dress the way you guys dress.
Pretty wild. These stories are fun because we know the community, the gambling community is kind of small.
Right.
And when you're in it as long as like Roxy, Crack, me in it, you can say stuff. So Jeff calls and says, I want to do this story about this. What do you think? And I was like, I'm flattered, but yeah, I'll. And he said, well, the only other people I'm going to call, I think, for this is Roxy and Crack. And I said, good. Roxy cornered the market on the bow tie. I said, he wears those suits all the time, and he always has a bow tie. He looks great. I said, and Crack took the Kangol and made it his own. And he owned a flat hat. And I told him when I started doing stuff, I said, you ruined it for the rest of us because I love Kangols. And I can't wear one because everybody says, wait, are you Bill Krackenberger? No, I'm not. No, no, I'm not. No, that's Crack. So I started doing this, and it was a fun article. I mean, and it was interesting because as we were talking about it, it was like, well, when did you really start liking the merch? And I mean, I was a little kid in Pittsburgh, and there was a store called Honus Wagner, named after Honus Wagner, the all-time Pirate shortstop at the time, and it was right around the corner from my dad's store. They had everything. And it was affordable. And we had a guy who knew a guy, and this and that. And then my grandfather worked there. It was his retirement job. So I liked getting the merch and stuff when I was a little kid. And then the whole article culminated in Jeff got the idea to do the article because he saw my interaction with Super 70 Sports and Ricky, the guy that runs that Twitter account, does a show on Outkick. We got to get in touch with Ricky and have him on the show. He retweeted me. I wear the T-shirts when I go out, the Super 70 Sports. I wear the T-shirts. I get a comment on them every time. So that was part of the story. He's like, wear the T-shirt.
You need to tell the story about the sweet bastard conversation, though, because that's the whole crux of the article.
What, when
you were called a sweet bastard?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ricky posted it. Like, that's what he says all the time, right?
Okay.
So I ordered a bunch of T-shirts. And with the order, I I hit send, buy, and it said, thank you, you sweet bastard. That's how you got the receipt. And then in the box when they came, the note said the same thing. Thank you for ordering, you sweet bastard. So I would sometimes post a picture of me with the shirt on or something, and I would say it back. Well, he retweeted it and said, this guy is not only a great American, but he's a sweet bastard, wearing the shirts or something.
Right.
It's order at 70 Sports.
Good
And
stuff.
it was great. So that's the article. Go to ingame.com, friends of ours, friends of the
100%.
show.
It's a great piece. It's really cool. And Roxy is such a dapper individual. And I'll never forget the first time I met him. He was taping a podcast that I was working with Rufus Peabody and Jeff Ma. And I just sat and talked to Roxy in the Cosmo in a penthouse suite in the Cosmo for like an hour, just like drinking in everything he had to say. And for that moment on, whenever I see him, I'm just like, you are such a, there are certain people that you can use the word gentleman around and it actually really does apply. That guy he is a gentleman in every facet, just class in everything he does.
It's so funny because he used to come in and he would play baseball season wins during March Madness.
That's right. He used to always say that. Yeah.
And I'd be like, Roxy,
what are you doing?
Why right now? And he's like, they're going through, aren't they?
Taking a shot.
Yeah. I mean, so he knows the game, the cat and mouse game that it is, but he's really, he's seen it all, did it all. There's a tremendous story. I'll tell it. I was saving it for the book, but I'm working down in Curacao, and there's this account that calls all the time, 52RR. 52RR. Sounds like a crazy voice. I don't know who it is, but he's really sharp. Stuff he bets moves a lot. He's playing horses a ton. Now, me and brother-in-law Smoke were the only ones that took the horse bets because we had to train the girls how to do it. So anytime somebody said, somebody would answer the phone and they would say, I need horses, these girls would say, horses, horses. So me and Smoke joke like for a year. We heard all these people in his office yell, horses, horses. So I probably spoke to 52RR almost on a daily basis. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It hit me after I came home and was working in the books and then met Roxy. I said, tell the truth. Are you 52RR? Roxy Roxborough? And he went, who's asking? I said, I'll never tell. I said, until the book. But I said, I knew that was you. I knew it was you. I said, it was great. And he smiled and laughed. And to this day, we still have this little, I remember. I was a kid, and he was
That's
working.
Tremendous.
Yeah. So 52RR, Roxy Roxborough. Call him.
Was Roxy 52 at the time? Is that why he was 52? Or is that
I have no idea.
A number of significance?
No, there was a system for the different packages.
Okay.
At the different places. West Coast had numbers. East Coast had numbers. That was a short number, 2-digit number. Butch, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And Crack called too, turns out, back in the day. So me and them, everybody knows everybody. Fun stuff. But Roxy is enjoying retired life now, whatever he's doing.
All
Wears
over the
those
place.
suits, smiling, doing a good job.
All over the place. Time for Better to Better to book it. We're just going to roll right into what we've rolled into here. Rangers Mets money line parlay. It's even money. Fade you, the Pirates. Fade the Rockies.
Can't argue it.
Hit yesterday.
Yeah. Took extra innings. The Mets tried to give it away. Skeens pitched well enough to win again. Just can't get it done. Gigantic number today. Gigantic number on the Mets. What does this parlay pay? Even money, you said?
Even money. At least it did last night.
Yeah. Senga's going to win. Yes, this is a bet.
I'm going to roll the dice here and fade Hellebuck a little bit more aggressively than I have to and take a shot on the puck line.
Ooh.
Stars plus 170 on the puck line.
I think that that's also, yeah, we did take house cues. Yeah, we can butcher. Yeah, that's why we called them. I think this is a bet too. I mean, the empty netters and different things. I mean, how many times the puck line used to be not a trap, but it used to be a way to get people to bet hockey, and you knew it was going to be a 1-goal game. Like, you just knew.
Right.
To take these plus 170s, plus 190s, and you're like, man, this will be a miracle if this covers. This is not bad. I don't hate it either, Justin Simpson. I don't hate it.
It's he's going to give up 4. It's just a question of whether you get 5, and then I don't think Ottinger's giving up 3 at home. 4-3 is possible, but I think 4-2, 4-1, 5-2 is far more likely with Dallas winning.
What's Winnipeg's team total?
3.5.
No way. Can't be.
I think both their teams are 3.5.
What's the total?
I think it's
Total
6.5.
games.
6.5, is it?
Hold on.
Or is it down to 5.5? Hold on. It's 6. Oh, it's 5.5. Sorry. So
Winnipeg's team total is going to be 2.5.
All right. Yep.
And I would still bet under.
It's -110 and -116. 116 to the over.
Yeah. I think that's an under.
4-2 final.
Yeah. Thanks, LL. Winnipeg's is 2.5.
Too many open netters.
Too many empty netters, Ray?
I got killed last night by it, so that's what we go puck line. You get plus 170 on the puck line. That number right now is plus 158 at FanDuel. I got 170 here in town last night. So you can go take a shot. And then I hit the over last night for the Warriors and the T-Wolves, same bet, but Denver OKC over 220.5.
You like this?
Yeah. They play game 1, game 2 in Minnesota. Sorry, in OKC went over.
Yeah.
This game's in OKC. It'll go over.
I don't know. I feel like Denver's.
They're an over team on the road.
I know, but are they going to contribute tonight to this?
Yeah, but they give up 149 in game 2.
Well, as long as they give it up, that's fine.
If they give up 149 again, we're good.
Right.
We're going to fly over on this.
I'll say book it. I don't know if we get enough from Denver. This might be one of those 128s to, 100.
Oh, housing them. Okay.
Yeah.
Or close, though. 128 to 100, I'm good. 118 to 100, I'm not, but 220 and a half.
220 and a half, yeah.
So.
It's going to be close. It's going to be right there.
Last night we were good. We did 20-point cover last night on the over for that. Hopefully we get another one of those. Back to hockey for the prop bet of the day. Okay, this is a bit on the different type of spin. For a prop bet of the day. Okay. I'm going to go under 2.5 shots for Rantanen. Last 2 games, he's not gone over this. And I think Winnipeg's whole deal is going to be, we're not letting that guy beat us. Stop everything. Do not let him get a look. And he may get a look, 1 or 2, but not 3 shots that go on goal. Under 2.5 shots on goal.
Did you say the last 2 games he went under this?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. He's been passing the puck a lot.
I know.
So he's not been shooting as much because they've been taking away his shooting opportunities. He's been passing the puck a lot. Not shooting. He gets 1 or 2 shots a game.
All right. Under. Yeah. Bet it. Okay.
Oh, football likes it. Go bingo. Okay. Oh, yeah. He got bingo on the bingo card. Okay.
Bingo.
That's what you're saying. Bingo. Like bingo. Tuesday? Oh, wait. That's right.
Tuesday BvB bingo.
Tuesday bingo card.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you watch a show live, the guys in the Discord channel, go to thebvbshow.com, get in the Discord channel. They post this bingo card. That's great. Good.
Yeah. There's top defensemen's coming back for Dallas tonight. So maybe more blue line play. Yeah, fair on that. I don't think his balls, Justin, is more just gameplay and like playing and trying to see it out as to how, if you're Winnipeg and you know that Rantanen has been single-handedly killing you,
right?
This is the year. This is your entire season's tonight. You can't lose this game tonight.
Right.
or you're dead. So you got to take away the best player on the Stars. It's going to be somebody else. Let somebody else beat you. So that's the theory with Rantanen, that he's not going to have 3 shots on goal.
Right.
So on that, what do you make of Florida Toronto tonight?
It's just the game of the night for me. I cannot wait to watch this game. I don't want to say it out loud, but I think that Toronto better get a multiple goal lead and do it somewhat early. Meaning,
really?
yeah, I think they got to get out to a 2-0 lead and then a 3-0 lead, because no matter what happens tonight, Florida's winning game 6. So,
Wow. Okay.
yeah. So,
Okay.
for me, the series obviously is always in jeopardy when you get to 2-2 and it's the 5th game. But if Florida wins tonight, Florida wins game 6 and wins the series in 6. If Toronto wins tonight, Florida's winning game 6 and we get a game 7. I can't wait to watch it. I like the overs in the first couple games of Toronto. I think this one has, if Toronto does it, this game goes over. But if Bob does what he just did again,
yeah,
no.
I like Florida tonight.
Yeah, I mean, try them. Well, they don't play tonight. They play tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh, that's tomorrow. Thank you. Sorry. What's the hockey game tonight? Tonight is
Just Winnipeg and Dallas. That's it.
Okay, that's it. Only one game
That's
tonight?
it. Yeah.
Okay. So we're off
All right,
tomorrow.
so we'll
so it's
discuss.
fine.
Oh, we are off. There's no show tomorrow, boys
Yeah,
and
so-
girls. So just keep that in mind. You'll have to find something else to do
It's called a happy mistake.
during these. Yeah.
There you go.
Wait a little bit. You'll have to do something else tomorrow during the hours between noon
2:30 and
2
4:30 Eastern.
Pacific. Yeah.
Indiana, Cleveland tonight. You want to lay 8?
No.
You want to take 8?
Yeah.
You're gonna get Cleveland's best effort tonight. This is their season.
I mean, if I'm backed into a corner, I think 100% you take the 8. I'd rather take 8 than lay 8.
Oh, pre-flop, I'm taking 8, 100%. I am betting. I'm going to take it. I'll take 8. I actually want to get like 10 if I can get it early, but I want to get 8 or higher and then wait and then hopefully have a tight game late and come back and do what I did with OKC in Denver on Sunday or on Monday, whatever it was. Or it was Sunday. Sunday. Just bet both. Hit both sides. +2 Cleveland, +8 Indiana. Falls in between.
Is Mitchell playing?
He's questionable.
Oh, jeez. What an unfortunate situation.
They're all banged up. The whole team's hurt.
I know.
But the number tells me, you look at it's now 8.5. So he's playing. Fendo went to 8.5. So he was at shoot around.
Mark is 7.5.
Really?
Yeah.
Fendo's at 8.5. Fendo's a whole
DK,
Wow.
Caesars.
Money
books at 8 -08. That's good. And Circa's at 8. So I don't know what to make of it. I'd say he's going to try to play.
Yes. In game.
Oh, without a doubt. I can't touch this game pregame. Are you nuts?
This is an in game.
There's no
play.
doubt. There's no way. So far, do you like the international games in the NFL? If you guys are watching the show, there's a poll watching in the chat. 65% no, 35% yes.
Wow.
So
that's high for the yes. It's higher than I thought it was going to be
right?
for the yes on that. Well, okay. Interesting. Time for Otani Watch. Thank you, Nikki, for this little breaking news. Tatum underwent successful surgery to repair a ruptured Achilles tendon right away. That's good. Get it done as fast as possible. So 6 to 9 months. Occasionally you can come back in 6 months, but basketball players, this is the worst injury for a basketball player. So they always slow play it. Always slow play it. Even if you can come back, they don't let you. So more often, I mean, I will be the only way I could see Jason Tatum playing basketball in the 25-26 season is if Boston was in the Eastern Conference Finals. But then why would you play him? Because you got there without him. So why would you play him? Why would you? He would screw up the entire rotation. It would be so like. I think he's toast, gone for all of 26. We'll see you in 27 for Tatum. Yeah, it sucks, but it is what it is. The market for Ohtani and the MVP race. He's already a monster favorite in May, Dave. He's plus 170. The next closest is 550, 6-1, 7-1, 750, and 12-1. If you had to take somebody on this list besides Ohtani, who would you take?
Boy, that's a really good question because I don't think the Mets are going away, and Alonso's really, really. I mean,
yep,
that's one I would strongly consider. And believe on that top six
of anybody.
I'll say it. I'm not even pandering to you guys, but like, I think Kyle Tucker.
No.
What he's doing with the Cubs? No.
No.
If they win that division handily?
No.
I don't know. There's going to be a push for him.
I think Corbin Carroll's going to get a massive push. If the D-backs are relevant and stay.
Yeah, but they're going to be the third place team. I mean, the D-backs have to. How do you give it to a guy who finishes in the third place in the division?
They gave it to Mike Trout when a guy who didn't make the playoffs under 500.
Yeah, but
they can give it to Corbin Carroll.
That much more.
They could give it to Corbin Carroll if he puts up gigantic numbers.
I'm not saying he's not worthy of it. I'm just saying, again, you're handicapping the voters.
Fair.
And if this guy comes back and pitches, it's going to be minus money. He might be minus money by Memorial Day.
Oh, without a doubt. Yes. I mean, Judge is minus 1,400.
The whole markets are stupid.
It's 1,400. He's minus 1,400 on May 13th. Aaron Judge is minus 1,400 to win the MVP again.
If it was our book, I'd turn it off.
Just
hey, you offering any more MVP odds? No.
I'm done. No, thank you.
Leave it for the prediction markets. Let them do it.
Let them do it.
Let them do it. Sounds like a prediction market. It does, Addison. You're right.
Your boy is pitching for Team USA.
This is cool.
You like this?
This is cool.
Paul Skeens announced he will represent Team USA in the 2026 World Baseball Classic. That is a hell of an opportunity. You're not at all worried about too many innings on a pitcher?
My man's ramping up. He's going deep into games every game now. He's going through 6. They're leaving him in. We're building up strength. Last year was like a horse, and I'm still not a horse guy. But we're going to have a horse guy on later this week to talk about the Preakness. Little
Todd.
tease right there. Yeah. I haven't seen Todd since last year at this time. Or
Breeders'
Cup.
We saw him Breeders' Cup.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Be good to see him. But this is cool. Like, I'm not worried about anything. Let him pitch. He was running like a young buck horse last year that's now learned to gallop and do everything they're supposed to do. Strikeouts are down though. But yeah, this is awesome. Do you like the WBC?
Love it. Love it.
Why?
Because I think same reason why I like the Four Nations. I think it's cool when you see teams represent their country in play because they actually act like they care. So it's fun.
They act like they care. It's the perfect time to do it for baseball. Mm-hmm. It's before all the other stuff. Everybody's healthy. Everybody that's there wants to be there, wants to play. The international flavor of baseball is awesome. So when you see the teams, from the different countries that are really competitive, I think that's fantastic. I love it.
You guys are so mean.
Would you stop, JC, for Pacey?
So
please.
Eric, she threw out the first pitch last night in New York.
In Citi Field.
For the Mets. So Livy Dunn was already throwing.
Can she throw? I didn't see it.
They all were all over the place. There were 4 of them all in a row, and it was just like scatter everywhere. So no, the answer would be no.
I saw a first pitch video on Intentional Talk. I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
I can't remember. There was a photographer taking a picture behind home plate, and he missed the catcher. The guy threw the pitch and hit him right in the gazungis.
Ooh.
The guy held true to the shot, and it just knocked him down. Bam! And he went, he held the camera up, but he grabbed his stuff.
You know what?
Yeah. His balls.
So ESPN finally made it official, Dave. They are launching ESPN. That's what they're calling this. Their streaming service is going to be called.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. They're calling it ESPN?
Yes, ESPN
Aren't
is
they already called ESPN?
Yes, but
Okay.
they were going to call it Flagship. That was going to be the rumored name for this streaming service. They were going to call it ESPN Flagship because ESPN 2, ESPN News. So they're not calling it Flagship. They're just going to call it ESPN. Price tag is $29.99 per month. Will you pay $29.99 a month for this? There's going to be.
Is there games on here?
So here's what it is. The new service, which will include content from all of ESPN's cable networks and its digital streaming service, ESPN Plus, will cost $29.99 per month for unlimited access. That is significantly less than what sports fans currently pay for their entire cable bundle of ESPN products. So you're taking it away from your Comcasts and all of your cable providers. If you want a cheaper option, they're going to have ESPN Select, which is going to be a tier system for $11.99 per month to jump in. ESPN's parent Disney company will also offer a special at launch bundle of Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN for $29.99 for the first 12 months. And after that, it'll be $35.99 per month. This is going to change things dramatically if people buy it. There's the question. Will people buy it?
I'm getting old. You sounded like Charlie Brown's teacher. I got to get this, or I could get this tier.
You pay one price to get them. You get everything.
Yeah, right. Okay.
You get all the ESPNs. Get everything.
Right. But then I got to do that streaming thing where I can't change the channel smooth. And I'm going to
try to watch hold on. According to ESPN, they say this is going to be the most interactive and advanced app.
Oh, good.
So you'll be able to switch between whatever you want. They're going to have a whole litany. I mean, Rich Eisen's new show is going to be on this. So Rich Eisen's leaving. He's going back to ESPN. Mm-hmm. Rich Eisen's show is going to be on this. Pat's show is going to be on this. It's going to be all like different times, but it's not going to be a channel as what you're used to, like the timing of it all. There'll be stuff that's live, but you'll be able to go back and watch things on demand, and different games will be on across the entire board. Like,
should we get on that channel?
I would get on in 2 seconds. Of
BvB?
Course. Yes. 100%. We'd be on it. So it's no more Roku. It's no more, for a lot of people, no more YouTube TV in a lot of ways, that they'll just say, hey, all I need is ESPN. I don't need anything else. You get all the hockey, ESPN Plus, all those games for hockey. You get all the national ESPN games. You get all the ABC games. You get all the ESPN2, all the ESPN news, all that in one place. I think people are going to buy it. I think this is going to do pretty well.
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, is it going to be off cable?
No, it's streaming only. They're going to eventually pull ESPN off cable. Yes, they will eventually. Right. This will not right away. It'll be 5-6 years.
They have to make sure this works.
Correct. And people want to get it to work.
And people will pay. Yeah.
Yes, Nikki. As everything ESPN is offering, you will get it for $30 a month. All of it. So Big 12 network, the Longhorn network, the SEC network, ACC network, everything that ESPN currently produces, you'll now have it.
Wait, it's just way too much. I really liked being able to just watch what I had and knew what I had. Now I don't even know what I have. I got a recommendation to watch a movie on Netflix. I was glad we still had the Netflix thing on. I pulled it up, fell asleep, but I gotta rewatch the movie. It's called Nonas. It's about Italian grandmothers.
Nonas, you mean?
Yeah.
Nona.
Did you watch it?
That's my mother's name is Nona. That's my mom to my daughter is Nona.
Yeah.
She's not grandma. She's Nona.
Right.
Italian,
we used to call ours Nani.
Yeah.
You know, we called her Nani, Nani Deannie was her name. But that's what we said.
It's interesting because YouTube, someone's saying in the chat, like, what about the Monday Night Football games? I think ESPN is going to have, YouTube TV is going to have the Friday night game to start the year exclusive on YouTube TV. So there, you're still going to need to have multiple. I mean, I don't think, but it may cause
That's
YouTube
crap.
Well, it might cause YouTube TV to say you can have everything except ESPN. So that's going to be a question. And then, we're a ways away from figuring it out as to what will be left over once it's all said and done. But ESPN has been the driving catalyst, the support life system for cable operators for the past 20 years. If you haven't ever looked at your bill, you should look at the bill and add up how much money you're paying your cable company for your ESPN channels. It's about $2.50, $3 for ESPN, and then it goes down from there. You're paying like $1.50 for ESPN2. You're paying 50 cents for ESPN or ESPN News, and then everything else. So add it up as to what you're paying, and then you'll see, a price tag as to what you're currently being forced to pay.
Absurd. Get us out of here. We'll finish with bonus time.
Some people, I don't know, kids like to stream stuff, Dave. Just saying. You don't.
Enjoy.
Some kids do. Guys are live.
TV!
You guys are live. Don't move. If you're on the replay crew, thank you. We're off tomorrow. Replay on Sports Grid. Back live for the show on Thursday and Friday for us for BvB. The rest of you, bonus time. The kids do not know. The kids do know.
They don't know shit.
I mean, I just yesterday I just went through and canceled a ton of subscription services that I don't watch. And so, I haven't watched Netflix in forever, so I canceled Netflix. I haven't watched Hulu in a while, so I canceled Hulu. It's just we just wind up having a bunch of these. I didn't realize I was paying for a defunct website, $20 a month, that I didn't realize I was paying for. There's all these stupid things that we get caught paying for. So I'll be very curious to see what's going to happen. Josie Myers, we didn't address the Pete Rose thing because the Pete Rose thing and the Shoeless Joe Jackson thing is bullshit. So we mentioned it, but we didn't get into it because it's complete garbage. If they wanted to really
we'll let it fester, and I'll read something about it and
no,
try
Pete
to see how
we already said it. When Pete was alive, do it. He's dead. It's dumb.
I've been advocating to tell people what they are and how important they are to you in your life while they're alive. Don't wait until their funeral and give some wonderful eulogy and then tell their family, boy, what a wonderful mom or dad you had. Tell them. Tell them now. Anyone in your life that's important to you, tell them. There's not, that whole thing is just, there's supposed to be more to the story, but it sucks.
No, there's not more to the story. It's a political move. This is just a political headline grabbing bullshit move. This is dumb. This is Manfred, trying to cozy up to Washington. It's just the whole thing stinks. I mean, Shoeless Joe has been dead for almost 100 years now. What are we doing? It's the dumbest thing ever. Pete, when he was alive, okay, you want to take him off the list, Manfred? Take him off the list while he's alive. He's dead now, and you're like, okay, now I can do it. Really?
Right.
It's cowardly. It's just complete. I mean, I don't think I would have done it. I wouldn't have done it now, dead or alive. I wouldn't have pulled him off the list. But since he's gone, now you're comfortable putting him in the Hall of Fame? Get out of here. It's so dumb. Okay, so he was born 75 years. He was dead. Not 100, but 75 years. He's been dead for 75 years. And now we're going to put him in?
I mean, it is kind of hypocritical to have sports books in the stadiums, have advertising nonstop, and have guys for allegedly being in a gambling thing or gambling. I mean, Pete did bet against his team, I guess, but he said he bet only on his team. I don't know.
Right.
But either way, everything is brought to you by a sports book at a ballpark. I mean, everything. They're on the outfield walls. There's books taking bets.
At Wrigley Field. There's a book at Wrigley.
I mean, it just doesn't. So, yeah. I mean, they had to do something, I guess, but
didn't have to do anything. They could have left it alone. They could have just kept the rules, what the rule was, and said he broke the rule when the rule was illegal. But now we're going to try to change everything because he's not here, because it's easy, because he's gone. So, if he was here, they wouldn't have done it, but he's gone. So they can turn around and do it. Favorite thing about today? No, Josie Myers never shut up. We're not telling you to shut up, dude. We're just yelling. It's because it's a story that pisses me off. Let's put Ray Liotta and James Earl Jones in first. Not really opposed to that, to be quite honest. It's really wild that James Earl Jones is such a crazy figure in American history because of that movie in Field of Dreams, but also Darth Vader. It's like Madeline's starting to get into Star Wars, so she's starting to watch different Star Wars things, and like she's starting to ask like different questions about who these people are and like, you know, what they're all about and who's the voice of this and who's the voice of that. And it's just like James Earl Jones is the voice of so many, like Lion King. Like, guy's voice is just like such a big part of the pop culture of American.
No doubt.
It's amazing.
No
really
question.
is.
Yep.
So favorite thing about today is what?
Learning a lot about life and different things and stuff right now. But my two favorite things about today, well, actually it's a total of three, but one is patience. It's not always someone's fault that things maybe don't go as planned, maybe, you know, but have patience with the people in your life, let alone complete strangers, because getting upset and aggravated over it usually doesn't result in what you need help with or being done any faster. It usually accelerates a lot of shit. So patience is really, I mean, they say patience is a virtue. This morning I had to have a lot of patience. I'm glad to come back and do the show because complete mess this morning. But number two, it's my two daughters are coming home today.
Nice.
From school. So I got to spend a couple of days with Uncle Dan and had a lot of fun. We've been FaceTiming a lot because they've been hanging out. You know, Uncle Dan's a pretty regimented guy. He goes to bed at a certain time and he watches, you know, sports. But them watching sports with him on East Coast time was fun because the game's over and Uncle Dan just shuts the TV off and says it's time to go to bed. And they're like, what do you mean? You know, because they're like, the game's over, but we'd be going to dinner right now. And he's like, yeah, you can go downstairs and eat or something or go to the kitchen. I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to bed. Got to get up and go to work. So I'm very, 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 very much looking forward to seeing my daughters.
Nice.
So, yep. Just happy they're coming home.
Absolutely. That's going to be, that's tremendous. My favorite thing about today is that I'm so happy to have been born where I was born and not born in New York, because the number of asses being shown by New York people over the last 24 hours is somewhat beautiful to make just completely and totally give me the civic pride to have been born where I've been born. And the number of Knicks fans celebrating going up 3-1 just goes to show you how pathetic that city has been in sports for the last 13 years. Because they seriously stated, people from New York actually were quoting me the World Series loss last year. Like, what do you mean? We were in the World Series last year. You lost the World Series last year.
Hey, man, at least it got there.
I'm 48 years old. I remember that New York people would spit in your face if you talked about World Series losses. We don't count losses. We count victories in New York. What happened to that version of New York? You guys turned into a bunch of pansies. It's wild to watch. You're up 3-1. You took over New York last night. You're up 3-1. You've won exactly nothing. You haven't even won this fucking series.
Oh,
yeah, you haven't even won the series yet.
There he goes.
It's amazing to me. And so I wake up today and I'm like, I see Craig Carton rubbing it in with Boston people. I'm like, you went to jail, right? Right? You went to jail for ripping people off, right?
Here we go.
That's what you did, right?
Here
You
we go.
stole from people and went to jail, and you're gonna like, whoa.
Here we
Certain people need to like not talk today. Like, you shouldn't talk. Like, stay away from this topic because you're drunk on a 3-1 lead that means absolutely nothing. Like, your grandparents are literally going, shut up, kid. Just shut up, kid. We don't talk about this. Shut up, kid. Because they remember the Jeter-led Yankees. I mean, the Knicks have sucked always. I mean, the Knicks, what have they ever won? Nothing. So, like, that's just the Knicks. The Nets are a clown show. The Rangers have one real championship to talk about. The Islanders, no one wants to talk about. The Jets, well, they're the Jets. They're a fucking clown show. And the Giants have 2 championships recently, but that was what, 2012? When that happened. So, I don't know. Been a lot of rings for the city of Boston since that last championship for New York, which was kind of a long time ago. So, favorite thing about today is that I'm not from New York.
Oh,
Favorite thing about today.
no show tomorrow, boys and girls.
No
Back
show.
on Thursday.
No show tomorrow. Thursday, Friday, we'll be back live and hopefully see all of you guys right back here for a Thursday edition of the Bostonian versus the Bug.